And we're live. Welcome to the Team Tank podcast. We are here today with Gary, Ryan, and special guest from Fear LA, Mark Gonzalez, who has two of the more depressing jerseys hanging behind him. Mark, how are you holding up tonight, Mark?
Oh, I'm doing great, especially after that. What do you want to call it? I mean, I don't know, a pile of shit. I mean, I don't know, like what? I mean, in a positive way though, because yay, Team Tank! I'm all on board now.
So I guess it was a pile of shit that didn't smell that bad. Is what
Yeah,
we're
it wasn't
calling it.
that bad. It's like you flip your car over, but then like you're gonna refinance it anyway, so no car payment. So it's pretty much like that.
Perfect.
You gotta look at the positive more than the negative. And that's how you can rationalize it. It's the whole season is rationalizing. It's like, well, okay, well, at least Kobe's resting. It's like he's got a broken arm, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
We also have Gary of Gary Nation and Ryan of now Gary
Yeah.
Nation. How are you guys doing?
I'm just devastated. I lost my only fan on Twitter.
Yeah, I gained a bandwagon fan, so he's on board now.
Gary, your following might be bigger than the Team Tank itself. Like you're becoming a superstar. I'm just hoping. I'm glad you're a restricted free agent. We have the chance to match any offers. That's all I'm worried about.
I thought about taking my qualifying offer so I can be unrestricted next year, but Gary Nation is it's standing strong.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead. Let's start with tonight's game. How about we start there? Gary, you were handling the tweets for half of the game, and then I took over, and the tank came into full form. What were your thoughts on that first half when they were actually semi close?
It was really boring, in all honesty. Like I was telling you before we went on, it was like Portland would be up by 11, and then we'd score, and they'd score right back, and then we'd score, and then score right back. It would just go back and forth between like 9 and 11, and there really wasn't like many exciting plays. I think Tarek Black had a pretty sweet block on Robin Lopez at the rim when he tried to dunk it, but other than that, I mean, it was kind of a boring game, to be honest.
Right, and then poor Mark, you checked in at the fourth quarter mark when they were already down by 20, and
Yeah,
I
down by
guess
21. Woo.
at that point, I guess you just start drinking heavily and start rationalizing everything going on, right?
Yeah, that's when I put my beer in the freezer so I could drink it in the fourth quarter, nice and cold.
Yep.
Did anybody even? Why was it? Were they like avoiding Tark Black? Because I noticed he like it was 0 for 1 and with 0 points. Were they
Well,
even like?
Stu was saying he's like, oh, that guy's played 20 minutes and he hasn't even gotten a shot yet because he didn't. I think his first shot attempt like came really late in the game.
That was
Yeah.
it. It was just passing the ball and rebounding, right?
And it was off of I think it was off a Robert Sacre pass, so that's not going to go in. So.
It's either between your legs or over your head. So
Oh, poor Sacre.
shoot
was-
a rock.
He was that I guess it'd be like a 17-footer just past the free throw line. Every time it goes up, it's just a matter of like, oh, how bad is this going to dent the rim?
I want that shot of him doing that slam dunk. I think from like 3 games ago against the Bucks. I want that on my wall. I want a fat head of that actually. That's what I really want. That's the highlight of the season and his career.
You want a fat head of Robert Sacre's fat head.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, Ryan, what were your takeaways from? I guess there's another game going on, right? The Clippers were playing Houston during the game. Were you watching that game, or were you?
No,
were you
I was
watching the
watching
game?
Steve Novak light it up against Dallas.
All right.
But in terms of the Lakers game, I mean, from a tank perspective, it was nice because right away you knew, right how the game started, down by 8 after the first quarter, you knew we weren't going to win or even like come close to winning. So it was kind of nice to have a game like that for once. And then obviously I'm a Boozer hater, and having him go one of 11 from the field, that's really satisfying.
As a Boozer fan, I'm insulted.
Well, you have his jersey up because he was the tank commander.
I also got it for $5 at a supermarket.
It also says "kill me" next to Boozer, which
Oh, yeah.
might be symbolic.
Someone else
That
read
was.
it.
I mean, if we're being completely honest, when they signed Boozer, that was my response. Like, kill me.
I know my favorite was when I was like comparing points to like Powell. I go, well, it's almost kind of like the same thing because if you look at it, I mean, his last season and this season, so they, oh yeah, it's about the same. Hey guys, we got it for the cheap. Hey, not bad, right? Oh yeah, oh yeah, totally.
And then he plays his first game and shoves like 5 people in the back, and you're like.
In his credit, though, he has actually been pretty good this year. I mean, for all the, like, I mean, I didn't want him on the team, and I still don't want him on the team, but, I mean, for what we were paying him, he's actually played really well.
Oh, Boozer? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been better than I thought he would be.
Well, that's where he's kind of in a lose-lose, right? Because when he signed, it's like, damn it, they signed that asshole, and then he plays well, and it's like, damn it, he's hurting the tank. Like he can't win in LA. He's poor guy. He's gonna get bought out.
Some people thought the only reason we signed him was so like when like everyday fans or like casual fans would look at the box score and be like, oh man, we got Boozer, and then have him put up like empty stats and be terrible on defense. But he's and obviously helped the tank too. But this year he hasn't really done that.
Yeah, today he was what, 2 points, 1 for 11.
Oh, he was awful today. But I hope we buy him out.
I think if he gets bought out, I mean, you'd have to think somebody would pick him up. The Clippers could really use him.
Yeah, Clippers are a good fit.
I mean, he wouldn't even have to move.
Yeah.
And
just change lockers and that's it.
And even and Laker fans that haven't really even noticed that he was on the Lakers wouldn't even hate him for going to the Clippers.
We would just like I get him and Sacre mixed up all the time anyway. So.
Did they try to do the father and son thing or whatever? Like
yeah, that's like
well, I know. If he goes to the Clippers, he could bring back the shoe polish, and he and Blake Griffin could try to look alike. That'd be interesting.
The shoe polish. I love the fact that his kids were booing like him. That was the best part.
What?
I think, and when he was on the Bulls, you didn't see that? Like his own kids were booing him because they were playing the Heat, and his kids are LeBron fans, I think, so they're booing against Boozer.
It reminds me of
on YouTube.
Like from Dodgeball or whatever, that kid. That's what it reminds me of.
I'm gonna have to. All right, so you guys remind me after this session. I'm gonna link that to our page and.
Please, yeah, it's so funny. It's like even your own kids hate you. Shit, like no one loves you, dude.
Man, poor guy. I wish I was adopted, Dad.
Yeah, I wish I was a Smith instead of a Boozer.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a future Boozer.
Mr. Boozer. Carlos.
All right, so I guess moving on from this game. I mean, bright spots. I don't know how did I honestly, this was one of the few games that while I was tweeting, I was honestly just in a drunk haze. Not drunk, well maybe drunk, but just staring aimlessly into the TV. What did you guys see? What did you guys think from Jordan Clarkson, Gary?
Well, I don't know. He was kind of up and down. It seemed like the first 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter he played really well. I mean, he was getting pretty good shots. You know, like he'd come off of a screen. You know, they'd run like some pick and roll action, and he would get to about 15 to 18 feet and just pull up. He had a good look, but it didn't seem like he was hitting them. But his final stat line was pretty good. He shot 6 of 14. He had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So, and he actually had no turnovers today as well. So overall, I mean, it was a good game. But yeah, he really finished strong.
All right, Mark, what do you think? I mean, I guess Clarkson's been one of the few bright spots of the season. It's been kind of nice. I mean, we get to cheer for something occasionally. Go ahead.
Oh no, I like the development of this kid. I mean, I know Ryan's educated me a lot on him, especially during the offseason, because I had no idea who the hell he was, and watching him and watching his highlights and then watching him develop. I mean, that's been probably the only highlight of for the next 53 games. Like that's going to be it. Just watching him, because the guy's got a lot of talent, and I'm actually excited. It's like, wow, I think we actually might have like a real point guard. So I'm excited. Tonight, what was he? 17 points. I mean, I want to see more assists from him because I know he doesn't really move the ball much and he's a shooter.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can kind of get that going. But I mean, other than that, I mean, nothing but positives for that guy. I mean, yeah, I mean, soccer. What he scored 12 points. Win.
That's a Robert Sacre is Mr. Quiet 12 because it's soccer, you know.
Hey, how many minutes? 26 minutes. Take that, Steve Novak.
Well, Steve Novak does that in 12 minutes.
That's true. But no. Jordan Clarkson. I like what I'm seeing with him. You know, he's one of the like I said, he's one of the only highlights really, aside from this not catastrophe. This team that we have. I mean, Lynn had 2 points. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's really the only entertaining thing is just watching him play. Allington looks great too. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think they might keep him?
Who's that?
Allington.
I mean, you go ahead, Ryan.
Well, I was gonna say he's playing similar to how Jody Meeks was last year. Maybe not as good because he's not playing as many minutes. And if he gets something similar to what Jody Meeks got, like $6 million per year, because we know Laker free agents always get overpaid. I wouldn't want to bring him back. But a short I know like Kent Bazemore got like 2 years, like $4 million or something. I mean, if you got him for a price like that, then yeah. But I think someone will give him more. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see if he's traded at the deadline.
The other thing too, I mean, it's tough now. We're getting too close to the deadline, but Nick Young got hurt again tonight, so watch for Ellington's stats to go kind of through the roof because they don't really have anybody else at that position.
I wish we'd call up some of those D-League guys we have down there, like Jamal Franklin. Jabari Brown's been playing really well down there. I think he was a D-League All-Star, and I'd rather have a guy like that on the roster than like Ronnie Price, who's not even playing anymore. And I guess after the trade deadline, we can release Nash if we want to open a roster spot.
Oh, I'm gonna crack open the coldest and biggest of brews when they do that. That's gonna be a great day.
I forget about him all the time. Like I'll read an article about him, or like I'll see him like watching the SpongeBob movie or something, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy still exists.
He was in the SpongeBob movie, right? He was on like a deserted island or something like that.
I haven't seen it. I need to go see it as soon as I can.
Is that where he's been?
I honestly, would it shock you, Mark, to find out he like has like a friend basketball, named Wilson and all that good stuff, up in like northern Canada, like working on his next documentary about a marathoner. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Hopefully, there's a piece of his back or his leg there, so maybe put that piece together and we can play. I guess I don't know, but. It's fun. I was looking so much. I was really looking forward to Nash because I'm a Nash fan. I've always been a Nash fan. I love watching him play. He's always been one of my favorite point guards. I just never told anybody because you fucking poser. What do you like your other team's for? You get all that. But no, I was really excited. That he was a Laker finally, and then it just really didn't pan out, obviously. But I don't know, man. I always hear like reports and stuff that I guess he can recruit Durant. So I don't know how. Apparently they're close. You guys know anything about that?
That was like a Kevin Dean article. I think it was just like Dean saying that that's something Nash could do to help the Lakers in the future. I don't think he's actually done it yet.
Yeah, I can't imagine Steve Nash and Kevin Durant going way back. I don't think they have too much in common. Maybe Durant, Steve Nash is a big fan of the backpacks Durant used to carry around all the time. For the ergonomic support they might give him, but you never know. I kind of want to go change the direction here. I wanted to talk to Mark. Obviously, you come from Fear LA. You've been a lifelong Laker fan. What would what's your fondest Laker memory? We'll go there with that cheesy question.
Oh, fondest! I gotta say the happiest moment I don't know. There's a lot. I remember watching the riot in 2000. Like, asked my mom, "Can you take me?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, "All right." Like, I remember they're bringing the cop car. That was hilarious. I was on the phone with my friend Steven going, "Dude, are you watching this?" I mean, he's a Cleveland fan, so like, he was like, "Oh yeah, wait, he enjoys basketball." So, but yeah, I remember just watching it, and then just I was like, we're just trying to figure out how we can get there. I lived in Baldwin Park at the time, but I missed all those parades and riots. I was young, but my first one was '09. I was when they set the Globe on fire. There used to be a Globe right next to the Staples Center. I was there when they set it on fire. It was just kids were jumping on it, and then it just like tore it apart, and then they try to like burn a tree in the middle of the street. And dumbasses, it's like super green, so it's not gonna burn. So like the whole time they're just like, "Oh, let's light this on fire!" Throwing like sweaters on it, and I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, funny watching them, but the best, absolute best, was 2010 Game 7. Those last 5 minutes. I still watch it. Like I have it on my laptop. I watch it all the time.
Yeah.
I just remember that final minute, dude. I cried and sobbed like a fucking baby.
That was like the worst best game ever.
Yeah, right.
Like the first 3 quarters were so frustrating to watch, and like that's that type of game that like if it comes on and you record it, you just fast forward to the 4th quarter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's all I watch. Dude, that's all I watch. It's like it was just the whole game was just shit. This can't happen. Like this cannot happen. It was a movie. It was straight out of a movie. It sucked me in. And I remember I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and she would like make fun of me because the way she goes, "Yeah, you acted like your mom died or something, or like someone in your family died." Because I was like it was that when Ricky got shot in Boys in the Hood, like that when the mom was like, "Oh God, oh my God," like that was me, dude. I swear, I was like bawling on the floor. My dog was hiding. I yelled out my window. I lived right on Broadway between 2nd and 3rd downtown. So you hear everyone, "Yeah, Lakers!" It was insane. We drove straight over there. They already had riot police already spread out, so we couldn't cross the train tracks off of 11th. But yeah, and then we just hanging out and high-fiving strangers, homeless people. It was it was just such a cool vibe. Everyone honking, just total strangers, just hugging each other, crying, laughing, just celebrating. It was so cool, and just that whole one night we could all put all our differences aside and just all be happy. So it was cool, and then it's the riot police showed up and they said, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I was like, "Well, my car's over there." And keep fucking moving. I'm like, "Okay." So I just walked home and I got my car doing exploring, but that was it. But dude, that was probably my fondest memory. That was the reason why I got my Laker tattoo, because that was the one year where I said, "Okay, I'm older. I got I was so here. There was at where is this? My memory's all foggy. I was like 24, 5, 4, 6, 7, something like that. I was like, what? Let me just invest this whole season, and then I was doing the Fairlay thing, so I was just glued to the TV every game. It was top priority. I even kind of took a break from comedy at the same time too, so I was doing stand up, and I just made it a priority, and it was the worst decision I ever made, but it paid off great at the end. So, it paid off. I just never again.
I don't know if did you guys watch the Grammys at all? Because there was a clip of Kanye that when he was running up stage or onto the stage, and Jay-Z and the whole group that Kanye was there with were like, "Oh my God, what's going on right now?"
Yeah, I saw it.
And then Kanye was like, "Nah, I'm playing, I'm fucking around." And then he came back down, and everybody's like, "Ah, yeah, I get it." That was exactly my reaction to Ron Artest's 3-pointer.
Oh. No, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly what I said.
He pulls up with his left hand. He does his little shimmy shake, and he shoots it or whatever. And I'm like, oh my god.
Those 5 seconds, or it just felt like 5 seconds, but just complete silence, heart stops. You're just like, and then it went in. It fucking went in. The ball went in. How insane is that?
Yeah, and
I'll still
even
never
after
his
the
post-
ball. Oh, go ahead, Gary.
I was just gonna say I'll never forget his post-game press conference after that.
I got weenies.
Post-game presser I've ever seen.
And then, you over there, acknowledge me, please.
You tapping on your computers over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like what did he say? He said he wanted to get drunk at the club first, like the first thing he wanted to do.
And then like,
God!
And he thanked his psychiatrist, like the post-game interview, like literally right after.
well, and like right after or right before he announced that he was gonna go get drunk at a club, his like daughter like strolls onto this thing. Remember, he's like, "Why are you here, daughter? Like, why are you looking at me, daughter?" Oh man, those are great times.
The next morning, I remember they had him a par 106, and he was still in his jersey, and he was like wasted. Like he just literally came back to the club like at 6 a.m. I was like, "Fuck! Like this is awesome!" Like I had to go to work the next day, going, "Fuck! I want to go party with him so bad."
Oh, I called in sick. I didn't go to work. Hell no.
I went to the parade, but that was it. I did. Yeah, no, that was all I did.
Right. And that kind of brings me to this next point of like I want to make sure I get this out in the clear, because sometimes it is kind of cold, it is kind of heartless when we're out here. I outwardly root for losses. Like I'm not exaggerating. Where previously, when they played Orlando and Victor Oladipo had that dunk in transition, like I was legitimately like jumping around the house like, whoa! And then realized after the fact, like, oh my God, I just rooted against the Lakers.
In last night's game, like when we were down by like 7, and then we cut it to a 1-point game, and I was like, oh come on, Denver, we got to win this game. And then Lawson hits those jumpers. It was like game 7 for me, and then like he intercepts that pass from Lynn, and I was going crazy. I mean, I have to admit though, it makes these seasons like somewhat fun. If there's nothing, like if our pick was like completely unprotected and we weren't going to get it at all, I mean this season would be I probably wouldn't even watch the games.
Right. So I guess the question I was gonna get to there eventually, or the point I was gonna make, is that like we are still like rooting for the betterment of your franchise. I wouldn't say makes you a worse fan, right? I mean, they could win some random game on a Tuesday in February, and then miss out on that top pick or one of those spots by a game, and then what? So Mark, go ahead and speak to if you could try to encapsulate the passion, why people would root for tanking even though they are still passionate Laker fans.
Yeah, you're rooting. It's being smart about it. I know one of my pet peeves, like reading my timeline, which is times I have to just step away from it, especially the Fear LA one, is when everyone's like, man, these Lakers suck. Do something, Mitch. Fire Jim. Byron's fault. It's like, well, look at what we're trying to accomplish here. It's like it's obvious. Last year, Ryan, what did Mitch say? Unfortunately, we have.
we might get a high draft pick.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Come on, they're in on it. They know. Like I watch enough pro wrestling where you don't have to put the wool over my eyes. It's like it's obvious. It's like, come on, I know shit's fake. Like, give me a break. It's booked perfectly, by the way. But as far as rooting for, I mean, it's just you. It's for the good of the team. It's good for the future. I was talking to somebody about this today too, because they just didn't understand, what exactly what's going on with the Lakers. And they say, "Oh, I'm just tired of watching them lose." I'm like, "Well, we kind of need them to lose like every single game from here on out to the end of the year." And and they have this mentality. Well, we're supposed to be contenders all the time and win championships. Yeah, that's totally. That's the fun part of rooting for the Lakers because they're a winning team. But they're not that. So you kind of have to be logical and have a little sense of reality and look at the way how things are. So those are just. But I mean, a lot of those people too. It's like there's fans, and then there's the smart fans, I guess you can say. So it's like, we don't. I mean, as much as we like the Lakers and love rooting for them, especially when they win, we don't have to live through them vicariously in order to feel good. I mean, of course, when they win, it's like fuck yeah, let's go get wasted. Let's go fuck sluts or whatever the hell, whatever you guys do. I don't know.
we like analytics. We don't get girls.
I know. You guys are. you guys are talking about numbers. I'm like, I just get drunk and like, what's up, bitch? Like, you know, like, what's up, slut? No, I'm not like. I swear to God, I'm not like that all the time. No, I mean, it's just thinking smart, and it's just, you know, looking at the future. Just just kind of have to like educate the fans. Like I think I was telling Ryan, or I was telling you, Anthony, about that. It's just, you know, you kind of have to just educate. That's why I love this whole Team Tank thing, because it's, you know, it's something that a lot of people don't know and aren't really much aware and knowledgeable with. So if you kind of just show them, hey, if we do really bad, you know, good things can happen actually. So it's, you know, it's just flipping the switch. You know, it was hard for me, but you know, now that I understand what's at stake, it's like, okay.
Well, I would say, you know, Gary, you can add to this too, but you know, when you talk about Mark, you brought the exact word that I go through here when I talk about tanking. The knock on Lakers fans is the disconnect between what the Lakers can actually do and the reality, right? You know, you hear you know, the national guys say, oh, hashtag Laker fans say this, you know, hashtag what would Dr. Bus do?
Hashtag future Laker.
Yeah, all that stuff. Exactly. You know, all that stuff. And if we can, you know, through doing this, if we can, you know, make Laker fans smarter on the whole, I don't see what the negative to this is. What do you think, Gary?
Well, I think you have people that are so against it because it's unfamiliar territory. You know, I mean, this franchise is so used to winning every year that, you know, when you have years like this, it's just people almost don't know how to react, I guess. But no, like what we're doing, we're just basically rooting for what's best for the organization moving forward. You know, I mean, how can you not be excited about the potential of getting, you know, a top 5 prospect who you'll have the rights to for a long time, and he's a cheap contract for like the first 4 or 5 years of his career. So, I mean, like I get why people would root for him to win because like you're just kind of wired that way as a sports fan, but you know, like Mark was saying, it's just logical to root for what's best for the organization because this team isn't going to do anything, and you know, a lot of people think that you can't have both, you know, cap space and this draft pick. Like it has to be one or the other, and you know they're not, or they're, you know, you can have both, and I don't think people really get that.
Right. What do you think, Ryan? I mean, we've talked about this before, but just, I mean, again, the biggest thing that you can add to this, you have the percentages kind of off the top of your head, being the super genius you are, except for the whole Steve Novak thing. Like, what are the percentages based on spot that we finish?
Well, fifth, if you come in 5th in the draft lottery, you have 55% chance of keeping the pick. 4th is 83%, which is where we're at now, which is a pretty good spot. 3rd is 96%, and then 2nd and higher, you're guaranteed to keep it. So it's like if we can, I mean, and we only have one more win than Philly, who's 3rd, and we have 2. I think, I'm not sure who's 2nd right now. I think the Timberwolves are 2nd, and they have 11 wins, and we're only 2 wins from them. They're playing better right now, and it's just if you lose a few more games, it's, I mean, guaranteed to keep our pick. We don't have to stress about where we fall in the draft lottery. And if we get lucky, we can get the number 1 pick or number 2 pick and get one of either Okafor or Towns. But for me, it's easy to root against the team this year because there's not many of the players that are going to be part of like the future. If this was a team like I'm just trying to think
Milwaukee or Orlando.
Yeah, like Orlando, or like, you know, Vucevic and Oladipo and Peyton, and those guys are going to be there for years. For us, I mean, Clarkson will probably be here for a decent amount of time. Kelly, I mean, if he doesn't play better, maybe only 2 or 3 more years. And we don't have any other guys under contract. Nick Young, who, I mean, I'm not that big of a fan of anyway. So
how dare you?
So like, so culture-wise, like, it's not, oh man, these players are going to get happen. It's like most of them aren't even going to be around.
Right. Right. Mark, it's been crazy how fast Laker Twitter has turned on Sir Swag. What's your take on what might be going on there? I mean, you probably get a bunch of what's up with Nick Young stuff on the Fear LA account, right?
I do. They it's like if I know the guy, I'm like, oh yeah, let me ask him. I love him. I don't know. I heard rumors of him cheating on Iggy Azalea, and I mean, yeah, of course, but no, I heard that. I heard I don't know. I don't know what's his slump. I mean, it's kind of like it just his swag went away. It just ever since he got that car, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
well, for me, his effort this year, because he's on a longer contract, hasn't been his.
Yeah.
He's not. He has stretches where he just kind of, especially on defense, where he's just kind of like inactive, and then the shots he gets this year, just like he takes the worst shots, and it's like you're not. If you take contested step back 360 like jumpers, it's like you're not going to shoot a high percentage. And last year he got open looks and stuff. This year he doesn't. I mean, in today's game, how many open looks did he have that he didn't have to like create off the dribble? And then it's not many. I watched a decent part of tonight's game, and the only shot attempts I saw him have, he he drove to the elbow and then pulled up, and then he like ISO'd someone at the top. And it's like they're just low percentage shots. So a slump, when you play like that, a slump's not that surprising.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And those dolphins are in his head right now.
Maybe that's what it is. I mean, it could be just that. I mean, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it does seem like he kind of checked out a little bit. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. All right. So talking about Swaggy P is kind of depressing because he's the swagless P right now.
Can we call him Nick Young now, since he's not really swaggy anymore?
That's what I've been calling him. I've just been straight up calling him Nick Young. He's not even.
Yeah, I was just saying, like when your mother gets mad at you, like she calls you by your middle name. Nicholas Young. It's like, oh shit.
Nicholas Sparks Young.
Yeah. Is that his middle name, Sparks? I would have doubted.
Would you?
I'm after an energy drink that has alcohol in it.
Nicholas Dolphin Lover Sparks Young. All right, so I the next question I had for you, Mark. You've kind of mentioned that you do the stand-up comedy thing, and then you've also been doing the Laker Twitter thing for a while now. Do you see anything in common between the two? I mean, do you go about it in the same kind of way?
Yeah, I mean, when the Lakers were on fire, I used to have a lot of fun, but or a lot more. I used to have a lot more fun, and there was a lot more to play with. I mean, now that they're losing, there's still something to play with, but you could only do the same stuff like over and over again, or else it just kind of gets stale. Because it was the way how I started it was kind of like an over the top, like I always call it like the Spinal Tap of sports blogs. Like it was meant as it was a little bit of a parody, a little bit of a satire, like a little bit of everything. But as Fear LA is, yeah, it's a stand-up comic for Twitter. And it's just its point of view is, Laker fans or Lakers and basketball. So, it's, we're the best team in the world, everyone else can go fuck off, and here's why. So when we're winning, it's like, I'm just, demolishing. I was ripping every other, player because, they couldn't, what can you say? Oh, you guys suck? Yeah, we're going to the finals this year, asshole. Like, good luck on that. And this year definitely humbled me, or the last 4 years really humbled me. So it's like, I understand now, and I guess you could say I'm matured just a little bit, but as a sports fan, but still, I can't wait to like get back to that championship, mentality where I always like saying, I sound like the last like 90 seconds of Tupac's "Hit 'Em Up," where I'm just telling everyone to fuck off and eat shit and fuck your hoe and all that kind of stuff, because it's like, yeah, what are the Lakers waiting to do? Nothing, like
Right.
But yeah, but the whole parallel between stand-up and Twitter, it's the same thing. It's joke writing. The way how my tweets are set up, yeah, it's set up punch. I just try to, it's all about timing too. If I see something when I'm watching the game and, something happens and I just happen to see, I see either like the premise there or, or like I remember like I think one of the ones that pat myself on the back was when, I said, when Pau Gasol was on the team. I said, let's trade. Let's do a sign and trade for the letter L so we can complete his name finally. Also Paul. So it's like stuff like that. It's like, it's just I just try to think out of the box, and there's a lot of Twitter accounts, not mentioning names, but a lot of them try hard. Some of them steal. Some of them pretty much, do exactly what, I've been doing for a while. I'm not saying I originated anything. I mean, I just kind of like, I was just doing what I was doing on my own personal account. This is the voice of a Laker fan. That's all it was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, there's a lot of parallels between it as far as like stand-up comedy. Yeah.
So for those of you listening at home, basically what Mark just said is, I suck at Twitter and I keep stealing all his jokes.
Exactly. Take that, not whatever username, fucking Twitter handle. All those are fucking bullshit anyway. They all suck. They're hacks. I said them all. They're all fucking hacks. They all suck. Yeah.
Now the one analogy you use with me here too, when you and I will just we'll text back and forth, is this whole idea of what it would be like if there was a camera behind the drunk Laker fan who throws stuff at the TV, Yeah. And I think that's something that I think fans really relate to, and I think here with this Team Tank thing, Gary, Ryan, you guys can chime in on this too, but with this Team Tank thing, this is like that drunk Laker fan who also cares about beyond this game, right? I mean, when I tweet, when I send out a tweet or whatever, and I'm trying to crack one of my terrible jokes, I want to get into the head of everybody else who's anti-tweet and make fun of, let them make fun of themselves. What do you think about, how do you go about doing that yourselves, Ryan?
I mean,
when you're not praising Steve Novak, obviously, right?
I mean, at this point, I just make fun of the Lakers, and then there's some people out there that don't like that, and it's like at this point of how terrible the season is, it's like that's really the only thing you do. Like normally, I'd make fun of other teams and other players, but you can't do that, and then people get offended and like, oh, you're not a true fan, or what kind of fan are you? And meanwhile, those same people earlier in the year used to say that, and then now you look at their accounts and it's like, oh yeah, tank this, tank that. So I don't know. It's
one day we'll be able to convert one of those Lynn stands. Like one day we'll look on at Jeremy Lynn Nation. What's that one account? Lynn Nation for all, whatever. But
I don't know. There's like Jeremy Lynn, J Lynn Forum, or J Lynn fans.
Right.
J Lynn is my dad, or something like that.
Like one day I will sign on to Twitter and one of those accounts will be like, he really shouldn't have forced that pass there, and I'll be done. I'll retire. That'll be it. I'll be good to go.
They'll be like, you're racist. You're just saying that because he's Asian. Like what? Watch your basketball.
Look,
when I was reading the first half, there was so many times that like whenever he'd miss a shot or something, I was just gonna tweet like, Jeremy Lin misses a shot, who are his fans gonna blame for that one? Because it's right. Like it's somebody else's fault. So the comment we talked about after the pod last week was one fan saying that he was turning the ball over because his teammates weren't catching passes.
Yeah.
It's just
it's so funny.
Right.
I've retracted a couple tweets just because I get attacked. Well, yeah, one of them always like, don't you, it's because Byron's holding him back. It's like, no, it's like, I mean, come on, the guy can't handle his ball. Imagine how he handles his chopsticks. You know what I mean? And then it's like the guy's like, wait, what are you trying to say? I was like, what are you talking about? And like I mocked him. I mocked the hell out of him. You have to. It's like, come on, man. Like, this is basketball, right? This isn't, this isn't like something to try to like, pull out a race card or something. It's like, have fun. Like, why take the game so serious? Like, obviously, fucking Mr. Fear LA, but I mean.
His family member requested that he pass the dumplings, but he turned him over, right? Like something like that.
Yeah.
But
It was something like that. Gong or whatever the hell. They asked for it. I don't care. They're asking for it. There was a Mexican player. Oh, I'd be all over that shit.
oh, right.
I'd be all over that shit.
I mean, like,
just have fun.
at the end of the day, like if I, obviously, all right, I'm gonna get hammered for that last comment. I can't wait for those comments.
Wait, tell him I wrote it. Just tell him I wrote it.
All right. but basically, when I criticize Lynn or anybody who hates when people criticize Lynn, you're being semi-racist in and of yourself, right? Like if you think Lynn is beyond criticism because he is of Asian descent, and that like Ronnie Price is more worthy of criticism, like that's a form of racism there. And if we're really gonna take it that seriously, which I'm not, it's freaking sports. Like at the end of the day, like come on, But yeah, at the end of the day, like just stop taking yourself so seriously. Would that be from? So I guess that kind of takes us to the next question I had for you, Mark. What's the most frustrating aspect of the season so far running Fear LA?
Running out of material. I mean, what else can they say?
Yeah.
Bad. Like as you notice, the amount of times I tweet at every game has diminished just a little bit. I'm watching. I'm totally watching. Like I watch every game. It's just rough. It's just so rough, and it's just like, what can you say? Like, and that's why, like, I mean, and I really do try to entertain everybody. I mean, throughout the years, it's like I got to know a lot of people, a lot of cool people, just based on Twitter. So I still try to do my part and entertain everybody. I like entertaining. I'm a comic, I'm a comedian, and I just try to make have everyone have a good time still. So through these tough times, I still try to I'll tweet, try to find like the most ridiculous pictures of how we're all feeling as we're watching the game. So,
like
I'll just
that Mickey Mouse thing today, right? With
the eyes. I forgot why. I saw that somewhere on either Instagram or Twitter. I'm always taking screenshots of everything and just like, oh, it's be perfect. Just if I can find something, just kind of make someone laugh and just kind of like, so that way they know, oh yeah, we're all on the same page. Like, we're all in this. So it's like, let's just have some fun with it as best as we can. It's like, I still try to write jokes, I guess, when I'm watching it, but it's just kind of hard. It's like, I'm out of shit. How many soccer jokes can you write? How many fucking like Lynn jokes can you write without being accused of being a racist? It's like how many it's come to that because it's like, okay, what else? Like, am I gonna root for the other team? I'm like, fuck everybody else. This is a Laker thing, Laker Twitter. So it's like, that's the hard part. That's just the difficult part is just trying to create more material out of all this.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you make one Lynn joke, you're automatically racist.
You really are.
No, yeah, oh yeah, right away. I think did I say something? I mean, like it's not as bad as like before. I remember like I think Sparaditas got in trouble because he said like chink in the armor or something like that.
Yeah. No, that was that. I don't think that was Ditas. I know that was a headline from ESPN.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it's like stuff like that. It's like, whoa, like come on, guys, like that's obvious. It's like, it's like that's not cool. Like, if you're gonna, I mean, if you're gonna bust balls, I'm all about busting balls. I mean, I bust balls all the time, especially on the internet. So, I take it as much as I dish it. So it's like, but if it's witty and funny, then that's comedy. Like that's just comedy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's like,
it's just
Well, and people think that it's like we have a grudge against Jeremy Lin. We don't hate Jeremy Lin at all. We're just objective basketball fans, and you can just see clear as day that he's not a starting caliber point guard or anything close to it. If he was playing well, we'd give him his props, but he's not.
If he was Linsanity again, then yeah, we'd be talking about, we'd be praising him.
By the way, this Lakers season's bad when fellow team tanker Matt Bazin is tweeting about his all-time fruit starting five.
What?
He has point guard pomegranate, shooting guard strawberries, small forward cherries, power forward pineapple, and center watermelon. Like that's the type of stuff you see like this year. Like
is Teddy drunk?
Oh, yeah.
Teddy's tweeting while he's drunk again. Dang it, Teddy! lay off the booze, Teddy.
I can see watermelon being center. I can see him at the 5. Banana though, wouldn't Banana be a power forward? That's more. No.
There's a heated debate right now in the comments.
The
My fellow tanker Harrison says, Oh, pineapple should have been in the top 5.
See, I was thinking that too.
I was gonna say banana's got to be like a stretch 4.
Yeah, there you go. Come to this, gentlemen.
Pomegranate as a point guard is perfect, right? With all the arrows to dish out, like that's awesome. That's a good
I
spot.
can't believe we're analyzing like fruit to basketball.
Kill me!
Yeah. Well, you got it there on your mirror, Mark.
Oh yeah.
Request is already put in. All right, so I guess we'll get into fan questions, and the very first one comes in here from Joe. I'm going to go ahead and Giovanni Villalta at Who say or Jose. I don't know. We'll find out. He'll correct us later. He asks, "Are you still alive, or did you kill yourself watching this game?"
This podcast is from the afterlife.
Yes.
I think I probably died watching that team probably after we started 0-5.
Although
Yeah.
I'll say this, I came back from the dead when they started starting Jordan Clarkson. That I would say, I don't know. Would you guys agree that was the happiest day of the season so far
Easily.
when Jordan Clarkson started?
That's honestly the only good thing.
Yeah, like it sparked excitement again, like a little bit. Obviously not like, like opening day, like opening night. We have a title contender type excitement, but yeah, it added some interest to it.
It still gets me mad that he didn't start until late January, even though his first start came when we were 12-32, and it's like he should have been starting a lot sooner than that.
Do you guys think Jordan Clarkson or Byron knew that Jordan Clarkson was on the team? Like, I'm not positive he did. Who's this long point guard guy? Like, he plays defense in practice? Like, who's this guy?
I think he thought he was just like the luggage carrier or something.
Trouble with the bags.
He's like, so why is this guy in uniform?
Do they still have to bring those babies to all the games?
Yeah.
I hope so. Otherwise, right? Like, if this season isn't bad enough, if Byron is cool with not taking care of babies, like all of a sudden Byron becomes a baby killer on top of a bad coach.
See, if I was like, if we had something to back up with, there's a couple Dwight Howard baby jokes in there too. There's like a million kids. Like, I trust me, I already thought about it, but I'm like, no, they're probably gonna drop 20 on us, and then we'll eat shit. So all right, I'll just keep quiet. I'll just say I'm gonna save it for next year though.
That was one of my brightest, like you talked about your brightest Twitter moments, but that was one of my brightest Twitter moments. I think it was last year where we were talking about the hashtag more post moves than Dwight, and I said his baby mamas have more post moves than Dwight. That was one of my brighter moments. All right, so we got a couple more questions in here. I guess this one's a little bit more serious. DeAndre Jordan, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, has been playing really well this season. I'm almost bummed that Dirk Nowitzki is going to be in the All-Star game instead of DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I get it. Like, we can't on one hand say that like it's great that Kobe gets his lifetime achievement award, and then in the same breath say that Dirk Nowitzki doesn't deserve it on the same standards. Even and while Dirk is playing better than Kobe was this season. But DeAndre Jordan was made, like a genetic physicist created DeAndre Jordan for All-Star games, right?
Yeah.
And it's a bummer that he won't be there. But so the question is, if we got Stanley Johnson in the draft, would you guys want the Lakers to offer DeAndre Jordan a contract? Go ahead, Mark. What are your thoughts on DeAndre the Giant?
I mean, he's entertaining, and yeah, he's good D. He's good on D, but I don't know. I don't know. I just got mixed feelings on the guy still. I know he did entertain me, him singing that chicken song. Have you seen that video on YouTube?
No, the best moment I saw of DeAndre was when he stopped, like mid post game interview. Did you guys see that? Stopped mid post game interview. He said, "I'm sorry, repeat the question. I was listening to Tupac."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty great.
Or when he made that face after he posterized somebody, but he was like
Brandon Knight, where he's like,
"Yeah, that's that the one, right?"
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. As far as DeAndre the Giant, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just it's one of those things where it's like I don't know if there's more negatives than positives with him, but I'm on the fence. I'm just completely on the fence with him. I guess you could say I really don't watch enough of him.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what I've seen, the times that we played him, or times I'm just, I get free tickets to a Clipper game or something, which happened a lot, years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I rather stick to the plan and just go young. I don't know. What about you guys?
Ryan, what would you say? I mean, the thing I worry about is DeAndre's going to be really expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
that and his whole game is predicated on athleticism, and it's like, how old is he? 26.
Yeah.
And it's like, if he
Years?
hits, I mean, I think he'll be fine until he's probably 29 or 30. But if he has like a knee problem or anything like that, and it limits his his athleticism, he's not effective at all. But I mean, I like the fit like alongside Randall because he's like a good like rim protector, and that's what Randall needs. It's kind of similar to like him and Blake Griffin, because Randall needs just like the same amount of space that Randall does. So the fit wise, it's pretty good, and if the price matters too. There's some people that have suggested that he's going to get a max deal, which then you really have to think like, offensively he's not a good, he's a terrible free throw shooter. He can't create his own shot by any means. You have to have someone create a shot for him, and we don't have a guy like Chris Paul, throw him lobs or just create open looks for him.
Whoa! We have Jeremy Lin. Come on, where have you been? Gary, what would you say if, all right, let's say hypothetically DeAndre says, you know what, fuck the Clippers, I am willing to take a quote-unquote hometown discount to play for the Lakers at, we'll say, 4 years, $48 million. Would you be okay with that contract? That's way underpaying, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think isn't that close to what he makes now?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Which, yeah, I mean that's a good point. Is like he wouldn't have to move if he signed with the Lakers. He would obviously be in the same city and everything. But I mean, I like DeAndre Jordan. He's a great rim protector. He's really improved in that aspect over the past few years, just defense in general. And yeah, like Ryan said, it'd be a good fit defensively because Randall really needs a rim protector behind him. I worry about the fit with Randall offensively because, like you guys said, all of his scoring is going to be around the basket. And Randall's a face-up guy, so if he's trying to drive to the basket and DeAndre Jordan's standing there in the way, that could cause problems. But no, I mean, I like DeAndre. I wouldn't be opposed to signing him, but you have to be really careful for what you pay for him. I don't really see his age as a problem because, I mean, obviously you worry about injuries, especially with the Lakers the past few years. But like if you sign him to a 4-year deal, say he can opt out after the third year, he's opting out at 29, 30 years old, and then you can just let him go or you can try and trade him or whatever, and you don't have to worry about him getting old and losing a step in terms of athleticism. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but yeah, you'd have to just be really careful with the price.
All right, Mark, I hate doing this to stand-up comedians because what you guys do is really freaking hard, but what would be your first tweet after DeAndre Jordan dunked on somebody? What would you go to right there? Let's say he dunked on Chris Paul, hypothetically. Man. He dunked on Chris Paul in their first game. They're playing in Staples. The building is painted in purple and gold. What would you go with right there?
Oh, so DeAndre as a Laker dunking on Chris Paul.
Exactly. Yep.
My first tweet. I don't know. Oh shit. I don't know. There's so many options. It could go from welcome to LA, and then or parentheses again or something. I don't know. It could be off the bat, him dunking at Chris Paul. Take that. Fucking David Stern. I always want to call him
David Stern. David Stern. No, David Stern angle would be great.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it'll probably be a call back to David Stern if anything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
That dunk looked like it hurt David Stern or something like that.
yeah, take that, the ghost of David Stern or whatever.
Yeah.
Ah,
Somehow involve Chris Paul's baby. That'd be fun too.
yeah, take that, Chris Jr.
All right. Next question we have here. Oh man, we're kicking Jeremy Lin while he's down. Pablo Martinez Dutra at Palito. Is Jeremy Lin our worst point guard since Smush Parker? Is he even worse than Smush? Oof.
You guys go first on that one.
Yeah, Ryan, you go ahead. Don't be racist. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ryan.
No, I would say Ronnie Price is worse, and then in terms of Smush versus Lin, I mean that's like picking like how you want to die. It's like both terrible options. But Lin's not even the worst point guard on the roster. So if I'm going to be genuine when I answer that question, then that's what I'm going to say.
Good answer. Good answer. You just saved us from a whole bunch
I
of
just don't want to
injuries.
I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and have like 300 tweets saying like in death threats and stuff like that. So I'm just going to play it safe.
Yeah, you don't want die Ryan die written in rice in your front yard or anything like that.
I mean, that happens to me all the time anyway, but I don't need it to happen to me more often.
Gary,
@fear_LA. Come on, guys, come fight me. I dare you.
Gary, is Jeremy Lin worse than Smush Parker?
I don't think that he is. I don't think he's that bad. And we've had some pretty bad as of late. Like I remember Smush Parker and Chucky Atkins and I know Javaris Crittenton was such a disappointment, but no, I wouldn't say he's worse than Smush. I mean, I'll always remember Smush for the three and then the steal that he had against the Suns in that game 4, where Kobe hit the game winner at the buzzer. He made some big plays in that game, but I swear that was like the only time that Smush Parker did anything good for the Lakers. So I won't go that far. I would say Lin's better than Smush Parker, but that's not really saying a whole lot.
Right, Mark. That's the next thing I was going to bring up. Is it says something that there's some hesitation there when we're talking about is Jeremy Lin worse than a laughable point guard?
Yeah, I think it's a little too extreme, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I mean Lin's, he's not that. I mean, he's not the greatest, but he's not the worst. One of the worst because he says no, it's you can't really compare it. I mean, you're just trying to insult him, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah.
No, I give credit. I'll give credit to Lin a lot. I'll give him a lot more credit. So, yeah.
Right.
Lin's
Yeah, I would agree with you guys.
All right. He can flourish in the right system. Obviously, with D'Antoni, he played well, but like with Smush Parker, I don't know if he can flourish in any system.
Didn't he get his ass kicked at Rucker? Like, didn't he? He would get smoked. I heard he got smoked at Rucker by some, New York.
Really?
Yeah, they caught up to him. Some guy. I can't make this up. They caught up to him on a New York bench out there, and this guy, his name was Booby Smooth. Interviewed Smush Parker for one of the all-time great names of interviews in the history of people, and it was when Smush Parker said that Kobe was the worst teammate of all time. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, I remember that one.
So I remember, I called into, that was back when, oh man, this was a few years ago, but I called KCal, no, what's 710, I called John Ireland, and I said that, Smooth Boobies are now interviewing Smush Parker. Life comes at you fast, and was run off the radio.
Really?
Yeah. So
that story reminds me of it was like right after that interview came out, and then there was that like fake report that it's like Kobe made Smush Parker change in the broom closet.
All right, so I guess the next little tidbit I'd like to get to here, Mark. Now you've been with, how long have you been running Fear LA now? 4 or 5 years exactly.
I think this year would be like the 5th year. I think, yeah. So
Now, the thing that's taken me by surprise here is how quickly the Team Tank thing caught on. I mean, we have people who regularly, we have Gary has stands. Like I can't get over that, and it has everything to do with the passion that rides behind this Lakers team. So kind of speak to how much that great fan base has to do with how successful Lakers blogs can be.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a like what I tell everybody, because I'm a big supporter of you guys. I love what you guys are doing, and like I said, it brings some type of positivity to this very negative season. It's just something to look forward to, something to kind of latch on and kind of follow. 'Cause there is light at the end of this tunnel. So you guys are trying to let everyone know. So that's why I appreciate you guys doing, and definitely showing everyone's stats, showing the scores of every other team. Because it's not a lot of places. Well, I mean, it's picked up a little bit over the last, I guess, 2 seasons. But you guys are onto something. So definitely have support.
I'll say one thing. I'm definitely surprised at how many people have embraced the tank last year, or this year. I mean, because last year, people like the amount of people that were against it last year was like way more than this year, and it's obviously because of like the strict protection. But I'm still surprised at how many people are like pro tankers now.
Yeah.
It's been, and honestly, it makes me a little excited about Laker fans that they're that we're kind of wising up a little bit, or they're kind of wising up, and at the end of the day, like I don't know, this is kind of a tangent, but Charles Barkley went on his rant last night, and I don't know if you guys saw Keith Olbermann's retort, which was great.
I missed it.
No,
It was really good. It was really good. You go ahead and check that out. I'll link that. I'll link that after the after this. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like if we can, when Charles was going on and railing against analytics, my thing is like, why would more information not enhance our conversations about basketball, right? And like with the Lakers here, like why would what we're trying to do here with this team tank thing and try to spell out like how the Lakers could possibly rebuild, why would that not be exciting for fans, Mark, you've been a great champion of this whole thing, and obviously your reach with Fear LA is a lot broader than ours. When you do spell it out, what's your typical response back?
Oh, like as far as like the whole team tank thing?
Right. Well, not just in general. Like how, like when because you say like you have fans who reach out and say, hey, why can't the Lakers just trade their draft pick for X player here, And you you said that it gets kind of frustrating, but when you do, if and when you do spell it out for fans, like can you are they pretty malleable in that sense?
Yeah, like when you kind of I just explain it to them, just as plain as I can, just I'll either say wait till this off season, things will get better. Wait 2 years, Durant becomes a free agent, next year. I just tell him, just hang on. It's gonna be bad. I mean, even Phil Jackson, like what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even said, he goes, it's gonna be bad times for the Lakers for the next like 2 to 3 years. Like he said it because he knew. He knows what's going on too. It's like it's obvious, But for a casual fan or just a fan, just disappointed and doesn't understand, I just let them know. It's like, we're trying to get, I just tell them, top 5, protect the pick, trying to get that, get some free agents. It's a build. We're starting over again from the ground up, so it's gonna take some time. So just have to be patient. And then they're like, yeah, I hope so, and hope you're right. It's like, shit, me too. I'm going based off of faith. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as we're Mark and I are Raider fans, and we can tell you that it gets a lot worse than this.
Oh, 2 wins. 2 wins. That's all we had.
3, and we haven't won. We haven't had a winning season since 2001 or 2002.
Oh, damn it! It's been rough. Wait, what was the third? Oh, that's right. The third one was against the Bills, right?
Yeah, late in the year.
Yeah, I remember. Now I remember. I was like doing something, but I missed that. I missed that parade. But it's gonna get better. As I always tell everybody, look at the history. This isn't some small market team. It's the Lakers. They're, it's just gonna take time, and the bashing of, of Jimmy. It's just kind of like, especially the whole Magic Johnson. It's like, dude, just give it a rest. Like, just let the man work. Just let them work.
Well, we were saying yesterday how like there's for some reason there always has to be like a scapegoat. Like right now it's Jim, or it used to be like last year it was D'Antoni and Jim too. But like every team has to rebuild eventually, unless you're the Spurs and somehow you keep all those players together and your coaching staff intact and everything. I mean, that's so rare. The Celtics went 40 years or without winning a title.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they went from like the 80. No, I think it was 30 years. They went from the 80s all the way to 2008 without winning a title. It's like when I doubt it's gonna take us that long.
Well, and I mean, obviously the thing with Boston, it was kind of it's hard for I have a bet with a friend of mine. We have a bottle of Blue Label on whoever's team wins the title next. Between the Boston and the Lakers. And the thing that, free agents, they never get any free agents because Boston as a city is racist. So, like, the Lakers will be able to rebuild both through drafting and then also free agency, whereas Boston has to stockpile all their draft picks because they have to trade for people who don't really want to be there anyway.
And they're in a bad spot right now because they're 11th, all the way down to 11 in the draft lottery right now. We're at 4th, and I think Randall's probably going to be a better player than Smart. And they, like you said, that they haven't signed a good free agent. I mean, we haven't, like, unlike a lot of teams, we haven't signed. And like people always bring this up, how we've never signed a good free agent, or we haven't signed like a top tier free agent, but we haven't had cap space like we've had in the last just this year, and we haven't had that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We also haven't had a young talent like we're gonna have, and we haven't had that in a long time either. So we're kind of like for Laker fans that are younger, like myself, like this is kind of like uncharted territory. Like we're not gonna have a guy like Kobe to carry the franchise, and we're not gonna just somehow like pull off a Pau Gasol trade, which is like instantly gonna make us a title contender.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think that's what makes me nervous too. Is it's like, especially that, like, okay, who's gonna carry the torch? We need that one player. That's why it's like, I'm guessing, they're gonna put all their eggs with Durant, which I hope. Who knows? I don't know what the hell's going on with them, but I'll let you guys hear. But I mean, shit, man. If they can pull it off, then I'll be worry free for a long time. So,
And I think at the end of the day too, I mean, we talked about we talked about the blame that Jim tends to take, and then the praise that Mitch tends to take. At the end of the day, they're working as a team. So if they've been able to pull off these moves in the past, I don't see any reason why they couldn't again. Maybe not to the same extent, but I guess the last question I have for you, Mark, is which number do you think KJ McDaniels will wear as a Laker? I'm just kidding. That's not an actual question.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember sending you that question. What the fuck?
No. Ryan has his, love affair with Steve Novak, and mine is with KJ McDaniels, who is a much better player. So,
there we go. You know what? I'm a big fan of Ivan Johnson, and I don't even know if he's still in the league.
No, he's not.
He should be. He's
He
not.
does I remember when he was on the Hawks. He's like a poor man's. Well, he's like an energy type guy.
He's fucking crazy too.
Didn't he look like a Southern rapper?
Yeah, I think he wore a grill when he played.
Yeah, I think so. Right? Yeah, I could totally see him like in the back.
Why would you want that guy on your team?
Yeah. I could totally see that guy as like the hype man behind Outkast or something like that.
Him, Nick Young, get Meta World Peace on a veterans minimum. Bring back Lamar Odom. Why not? Fucking have them all on the bench. Fuck yeah. That would be the most entertaining season ever.
I'd be down with that. I think that's the Lakers' next move. Is just bring in a bunch of entertaining guys to make it
Might as well.
There was that Tracy McGrady rumor earlier in the year who's like he
Oh.
wants to come back and play for Lakers. Like we could stockpile all the old retired guys and have like a 2003 All-Star lineup.
Yep, make it happen, Mitch.
I mean, look, Nash, Kobe, Tracy McGrady, Boozer, throw him in there, and then just sign Yao Ming or something. We're ready to go.
I really do hope they get I don't know I don't know if Andrew Bynum's even like wants to play anymore. I don't think so, but that would be so awesome. Just,
Yeah.
I think Bynum's supposed to. He said he's like taking this year off, and he's supposed to come back. And somehow, I always look at like his profile, and he's only 27 years old, which to me that's ridiculous. It feels like he's been around forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I always hear he likes building computer. Like I knew someone that worked at a Best Buy, and I guess he was always in there because he loved electronics and he loved building computers. So
Yeah.
that's like his real hobby, his real passion, supposedly. So hey, more credit to him if that's what he wants to do. So
Right. I mean, I always think players in the NBA who have interests outside of basketball kind of get a raw deal because, like, God forbid these guys have brains, unlike Chuck.
The next, I actually had something that I wanted to just kind of talk about. Just looking at our remaining February schedule after the All-Star break, it's pretty soft, but I mean, so was like our first half of February. But
And so is this team.
Yeah. So it's I was Byron chiming in.
I was getting a lot of people before this game just talking about our last 4 games of February and like their winnable games and everything, and there's people assuming that we're gonna win like 3 out of 4 of those games, and it was just funny to me because I even tweeted this. I was like, we're a Jordan Hill missed jumper against Chicago away from a 15-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Like I don't get where this whole like assuming that we're gonna win any games at all comes from. Because like we played the Knicks, who are by record the worst team in the league, and got dominated. So
yeah, that was embarrassing.
I just don't get why like people are assuming that we're gonna win games. Like I mean I guess I thought we were gonna beat Denver because Denver was just playing awful, and we still lost that game at home. So I mean looking at our last 4 games, we play Brooklyn at home, Boston at home, and then we play at Utah, and then we play Milwaukee at home. Like honestly, I mean we could win like 2 out of those 4.
That's all I say. As long as we don't win 2, we're fine. If we only win 1, I think we're fine.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll pull off 1.
Honestly,
I just think like when you talk about like the mentality going into like what would make Lakers fans think that they would win any game, it's kind of like an 80s actor, like a past his prime 80s actor walking into like any hot LA club and thinking he's gonna get laid because he's in hot like Emilio Estevez is just gonna walk in and like girls are gonna flock to him. Like we were good in the 80s, like we're totally gonna get anybody we want.
That's the casual. I don't know if that's like. I'm pretty sure it's most Laker fans still. They just rings and like like the banners. It's like, dude, it's 2015 now. Like enough of that. Like embarrassing.
Like everyone was saying that at the beginning of the year, like, oh, Kobe's not gonna let us tank. Like with this team with Kobe, it's like, I mean, even with Kobe, we were still awful, and it's like if we had him now, we probably have like maybe 2 or 3 more wins. But it's like a past prime Kobe isn't making a garbage team with like D-League players going to turn him into like a 30-35 win team. It's just not going to happen, especially now, and especially because he has to play limited minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, speaking of this discussion, Pablo Martinez Dutra just asked, would you like to beat Boston even now that we're tanking?
Mark, you take that question.
Oh, yeah, you always have to beat Boston. Fuck them. That's just a given. Like I said, I am still sore from 2008. I don't give a fuck who's on the. I don't even know who's on the team anymore. I don't care. As long as we beat Boston, that's fine. If we lose to them, better for us. But if that could be that one game that we could win, yeah. Always beat Boston, no matter what.
Ryan, you take kind of the opposite stance on that, but it's hard for me because I don't know. I guess it's an old man thing. Mark and I are a little more seasoned than you guys, you youngins. And man, I hate Boston that much that like even when Mark, do you remember that one game? I think it was before their big three era, and Kobe was getting MVP chants there in their garden.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, that was my favorite moment in the history of mankind. And like it was a random like Tuesday night or whatever. And yeah, I mean at the end of the day, I mean it is gonna hurt the tank, but I might just have one of you guys, Ryan, Gary, you might have to take over the account.
I'll take it. For
I
me,
think that was 06, wasn't it? 05 or 06?
Yeah, I would say so.
And
Go
then
ahead, Ryan.
06.
I was gonna say for me, like I'm not as exposed to the ball. I mean, we've played them twice in the finals, but I wasn't exposed to like the Magic and Bird rivalry back then. So like for me, I mean, I still hate the Celtics, but in a year like this, the result to me doesn't matter. I mean, they're actually playing well right now. They've won 4 of the last 5 games, so it's like I don't think, and they beat the Hawks today, so it's like I don't think we'll beat them anyway. But to me, the result, I mean, either way, you could look at it as a win-win both in both cases, or a lose-lose in both cases.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. For me, it's a win-win. Like obviously, if we lose, it helps. And when you really think about it, you know, like you look at it 3 years from now, you're not gonna look back at that game and be like, man, I wish we'd have won that game. Like, I mean, both teams they kind of suck this year. Like even the Celtics are in the playoff hunt, but they're only in it because they're in the East. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna look back on it. Obviously, like if you win, it's cool because you beat Boston and everything. Like for me, it's a win-win. If we win, awesome. If we don't, you know, it obviously helps what we're trying to accomplish with our draft pick. But you know, that's just kind of my stance on it. Is like you'll look back, you won't look back on that game at all. Like even unless like something amazing happens, like to where it sticks out. But
well, like, do you remember last year's games at Boston or versus Boston, I should say?
the only thing
Yeah, I think Jody Meeks hit a game winner in Boston, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Those
I remember
suck,
Ryan
Ryan.
Kelly. Ryan Kelly had a good game in one of them.
Yeah, that's all I remember from the game at Boston last year was his baseline dunk. Like that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I remember that. I remember that at Boston. Like my thing is, it's just all right. I was hoping I'd be able to squeeze this in, but this fan to me just encapsulates everything that I hate about Boston. My wife and I, we sat up in the cheap seats. We went to the Christmas Day game between the Lakers and the Celtics after the Celtics had knocked the Lakers or just wiped their butts with the Lakers in the finals. And we're there at this Christmas Day game, and the intensity in that game was, I mean, it was incredible. It's halftime of the game. And I got up to go to the restroom, and I'm standing in line. And right behind me in line was by far the biggest Mexican I've ever seen. Like he was huge, and he had neck tattoos. He might have had a tear. I have no idea. All I remember was, oh my God, this guy could kill me by winking at me. And out walks this Boston Celtics fan. And as he's walking out, he has this Rajon Rondo jersey, you know, and I'm thinking of like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna come up with something totally slick, like, fuck you, Rondo can't make a jumper, you know, and like he walks out, he's like fanning himself, like, Boston this, blah, blah, you know, and he walks out and he looks at the guy behind me, and the guy behind me goes, listen, son, if we were at a Dodger game and I didn't use 2 paychecks to spend on these tickets, I'd stab your ass. And immediately, that Boston Celtics fan, who was Mr. Badass 2 seconds ago, covers himself with his jacket, crawls into the fetal position, and, like, waddles out. And, like, that to me is just, that's the total Boston fan. When they're good, oh, man, we're totally, like, Boston, shout out, and, when they're bad, you know, when they're bad, it's like, you know, well, you know, maybe we can, you know, come on, get out of here. You suck. You know, you have Avery Bradley for $9 million a year. Get out of here. And yeah, I mean, Gary, Ryan, like you guys will wind up running the account that night. But you can believe that from my personal account, I'm going to be bringing all the snark, you know, against those Boston fans. But like if they lose and it helps the Lakers tank, then all the better.
Yeah, if they lose, great. If they win, great. Like I know obviously I know the history, and I'm actually I'm not a huge Larry Bird fan, but I fucking love his game. So, I mean that's about it. That's as much as respect I'll ever give him. But that's about it.
That's about all he deserves.
Yeah, that's
all right,
it.
so,
I can do shit.
So, all right. So I guess we'll get to wrapping this up. Last question is a random one. I promise you guys will not see this coming. But at Low, whose Twitter name is Assassin's Creed, which, dude, I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. Any slander, I will murder you. But he asks, how come everybody finds lost puppies except me? So Mark, go ahead and why can't Assassin's Creed find puppies?
Because his name is Michael Vick. I don't know. That was dumb. I can't believe I said that. So dumb. I didn't saw that earlier. Why can't I find puppies? I don't know. Is it hard enough? I mean. You find puppies where? I mean, at a very urban city, at a dumpster, either a river, or somewhere in Europe. Maybe that's why he's not looking hard enough, or he's not searching the internet. I don't know.
There you go. Gary, why might not Low catch? But why can't he find any lost puppies, man? All he wants is a little puppy.
Because I've already snatched all of them up.
Oh.
They're all mine.
And you're all the way there in Idaho, man. Like, you're getting LA puppies, too?
All good puppies.
All right, and Ryan, what's your solution to not at Assassin's Creed, but why can't, what's your solution? Get this guy a damn puppy.
I mean, for me, I just acquire puppies. I don't even have to do anything. They just swarm to me. I mean, it's like a natural gift, but I mean, you just keep bacon in your back pocket, or have some, do something like where like the dogs just want to flock to you. I mean, for me, it's natural, so it's hard for me to comment. But I mean, just go with the bacon method. I mean, I read a book, and that's what it said. That's what it said to do to win over dogs.
Yeah, I would say that the bacon in the back pocket is great advice. That's you know what? I didn't think we'd actually get advice, but that would actually work at Low. So I guess my bit of advice is stop with the slander against Assassin's Creed, and then better stuff will happen for you. All right, so
fellow Team Tank member actually had a question for Mark. Harrison asked if Fear LA is going to be making a #Team Tank T-shirt.
We were just in talks with that. I think we're going to come to terms to a long-term contract, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
hopefully, I hope it's only a 1-year deal. I don't want to change it after this year.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll have like a combo pack with the back-to-back LA season Survivor shirts. I'm afraid to get sued by the Lakers to put Lakers on there. I would totally have the Lakers season Survivor shirt.
I remember when you made those, or I think it was for the playoffs that one year, like when we got swept or something. They made a shirt, or it might have just been last year, where they made a shirt that was like, it looked just like one of the shirts that you made. And I remember I tweeted you, I told you that it looked just like it. And I was just wondering, like, if they asked you about it, or they just like stole your idea.
Oh, was it the Halloween one? The Fear Nothing?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I asked the buddy that I knew if he can like find out if like I was their inspiration, because the font looked really close to it, and it's like Fear Nothing. Like how the hell did you guys get that like kind of thing? Because I mean the closest I've ever gotten to being like resembling Fear LA was when 1 year the Nike 3-on-3 they did Los Fearless. Los Fearless, and it was really, I mean, it was pretty close, but that night, I remember that night. No, I haven't been in contact with anybody. I know they know I exist. That I can definitely confirm. They definitely know I exist, and they do know I'm out there, and I guess they do. Maybe that's why they haven't contacted me, because they know what I'm doing. But I mean, no matter what, I'm all for the cause, I just, it's if I could get if I could get a job with them or just be in association with them, great. That'd be awesome. But I mean, I love what I do. It's fun. I just try to keep everyone entertained. So it's obviously I'm not rolling in dough. I'm not doing it for the money, that's for sure. It's just mainly just for my own creative output where I could put something and just share it with everybody. And I mean, it does cost something. So it's like, why not just I gotta tell everybody, like I made Clipper colored Fairlay shirts, and people were like, "How? But you're a Laker fan." Like, yeah, think about it. Clipper fans are funding a Laker site. Hello, why would you do that? They're like, "Oh yeah, I guess you're right." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly." Like, no shit. Like, think about it. So it's like, it's things like that. But yeah,
and most Clipper fans are former Laker fans anyway. So.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I just. Man, don't get me started with that.
I would say because I don't know, Mark. I don't know if you know this, but we're gonna try. Team Tank is gonna try to roll into the Las Vegas Summer League. So
let's do it. I'll join you guys.
That'd be a lot of fun. But if we could get if we could have like the 5 of us rocking a Team Tank thing, and then have like Jalil Okafor sign all of our shirts.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then what we'll do is we'll do we'll have like an unveiling. Like our transformation from Team Tank to the Rebuild Guild.
There you go.
The Rebuild Guild. I love that. That's hilarious.
So I guess on that note, when we're talking about whatever's coming next for Team Tank and for the rest of Laker Nation out there, I want to thank Mark Gonzalez for taking time out of his day for coming on tonight. Mark, go ahead and plug. Do you have any shows coming up or anything coming up new with the site?
Yeah, actually, I have my next show. It's very local. It's, if I can pull it up here, I should know this. I think it's February 18th. I'll be at just making sure. Yeah, I'll be at Genghis Cohen off of Fairfax in Hollywood. It's a later show, 9:30. It's a good lineup, a lot of New York comics, but I'll be hosting. So. That I'll be on the road this summer, so a lot of Arizona dates, and basically pretty much just touring the road again this year. So, but yeah, Fairlay, I got new shirts coming. Everyone knows Fairlay.com, and then my own personal Twitter at Mark the Gonzalez, and yeah, so thanks, I appreciate you guys having me. So.
Of course, and then again, thank you Ryan and Gary for signing on tonight. Gary handled the first half of the tweets. I had to take over and make sure the tank started really rolling, and we doubled the lead in 4 minutes.
Yay.
So, yeah, no, that sounds great. Go ahead, Mark, send me the link to that, and then I'll tweet that after the show. And then yeah, anytime you want to come back on here with us, Mark, you're more than welcome.
I'm down. I mean, I'm definitely down for the last game of the season. That'd be great. We have a party. Get fucking wasted and get some girls. Get some girls in this thing. Come on.
Yep, we got to stop with the analytics if we're hoping for girls, but
I was just gonna say we have to cut out the analytics. No more.
Right, yeah. From now on, we're gonna analyze team defense as just points per game, fuck pace, all that stuff. Like that's going out the window. All right.
No, guys. If a guy's white, you assume he's a shooter. Just. Basic,
fast.
old school basketball scouting.
Exactly. Yep, there we go. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining in tonight. Thank you, everybody, on Twitter for your questions, especially at Assassin's Creed. That was a good one. More questions like that.
Use the bacon.
Yep. From Ryan, use the bacon. Yeah, more questions like that. Keep them coming. Keep us on our toes. The more we get Gary Nation to think, the less maybe his stands will realize, he turns the ball over a lot.
So. Yeah, Gary Nation.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we sign off, I just want to send a shout-out to Gary Nation.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.